Vice President J.D. Vance, who was recently named by Donald Trump to be the new fraud czar, because apparently J.D. Vance didn't already have an official title, right? The vice president needs a new title, so Trump names him fraud czar. So J.D. Vance gets out there on social media this week and says, by God, I am referring Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison of Minnesota for a criminal investigation at the DOJ. Here's what he said on social media. I've referred these allegations to DOJ's new fraud division for criminal investigation. Minnesota state officials are not above the law, and if they facilitated fraud, lied under oath about what they knew, or harassed and intimidated whistleblowers, they must face justice. Now, obviously, none of that happened. In fact, this massive, horrible, widespread Somali fraud in Minnesota isn't real. Was there some fraud in Minnesota? Absolutely. That part's undeniable, right? You had some Medicare fraud. You had some food assistance fraud there, just like you do in every state except Minnesota. I'll give you this. It is a pretty high amount. Now, individuals commit fraud. Government officials do not facilitate it. Like Tim Walz is not sitting there signing Medicare checks to people knowing they're going to commit fraud with it and then saying, ha ha, have fun with your fraud, buddy. But that is what J.D. Vance, of course, is trying to convince people actually happened. And what he's really doing is trying to take down the guy who, of course, ran against him in 2024 as Kamala Harris's vice presidential nominee. For what? Well, I'll tell you exactly for what. Because the state of Minnesota has been pissing off this administration for quite some time now. Why? Because the administration decided to pick a fight with Minnesota and lost. They lost credibility. They saw the approval rating of Department of Homeland Security and ICE hit rock bottom. They killed multiple civilians on camera in many instances, some not on camera, that didn't get the coverage it deserved. And their ICE agents are facing prosecution for various different things, not even for the murders in Minnesota. So this administration wants to try to punish Minnesota. And furthermore, J.D. Vance understands that his standing with MAGA has gone to crap. Like, MAGA does not want J.D. Vance to be the next president of the United States, which would completely derail any chances he has of even winning a Republican nomination. So J.D. Vance wants to go out there and not only make Donald Trump happy by going after his perceived enemies, but also to convince MAGA that, look, I'm investigating the fraud from all the Somali migrants in Minnesota, so I also hate immigrants too. And you know how we know that last part? Because do you know who is helping J.D. Vance with this whole fraud department thing? Stephen Miller. Donald Trump gave this job jointly to J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller to go out there and paint immigrants as complete and total fraudsters, right? That's the reason your life sucks, is because these group of people in Minnesota are committing all this fraud, so we got to get rid of all the black and brown people in the United States. That's what this is. Vance is trying to bolster his anti-immigrant credentials. He's trying to appease Donald Trump by taking out his political enemies, which will fall apart hilariously, by the way. Todd Blanche will do his part and go forward with attempted indictments against these people. And Stephen Miller gets to try to appease Donald Trump because they've been on the outs, because Miller is, Nosferatu, and it's not sitting well with the American public. But if Miller can prove just one immigrant committed a fraud, then by God, maybe that'll turn the ship around. So there's lots of different motivations for this, targeted political persecution. none of them are going to flesh out. But the administration might be able to use it for a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months, for a little bit of political gain that I really don't think is even going to materialize. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.